President Tinubu reshuffles service chiefs, appoints General Oluyede as new Chief of Defense Staff. Nigerian military links physical fitness to national security as Army hosts inter-formation cross-country event. How much food can Nigeria produce? Nationwide survey aims to find out as data collection begins across states. Hello and welcome to the News Desk 3 on NTA News24, live from Abuja. I am Vivian Izadifi. President Bola Tinubu has made changes in the hierarchy of the service chiefs and appointed new ones to further strengthen the national security architecture. Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, Chief of Army Staff, replaces General Christopher Musa as the new Chief of Defense Staff. The new Chief of Army Staff is Major General Wahid Shuaibu. Air Vice Marshal Sunday Anyeke is Chief of the Air Staff, while Rear Admiral Idi Abbas is the new Chief of the Naval Staff. Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Udiende retains his position. The President charges the newly appointed service chiefs to justify the confidence reposed in them to further enhance the professionalism, vigilance, and comradeship that define the armed forces of Nigeria. All appointments take immediate effect. In a decisive move to tackle Nigerians' persistent security change, President Bola Tinubu has carried out a major shake-up in the nation's military leadership, replacing all the service chiefs and the Chief of Defense Staff. The sweeping changes, which also include new appointments for the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Chief of Defense Intelligence, signal the President's resolve to inject fresh strategy and renewed vigor into the fight against terrorism, banditry, and other security threats confronting the country. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello takes a look at the new faces at the helm of the armed forces and their profile.
A new command team is now at the helm of Nigeria's armed forces. We profile the men appointed to lead the nation's military campaigns. First, the new Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, a seasoned infantry commander, was commissioned in 1992. His extensive career includes frontline command in Operation Hadinkai in the Northeast and international missions in Liberia and Bakassi. And in a related move, Major General Wahid Shuaibu, an armored corps specialist, has been appointed as the new Chief of Army Staff. He is credited with major gains against terrorist groups in the Northeast, known for his disciplined leadership and focus on troop morale. Protecting the nation's vital economic interest at sea is the new Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas. He moves up from leading the Central Naval Command, where he oversaw a significant crackdown on illegal oil bunkering, intercepting hundreds of thousands of barrels of stolen crude. In the air, the new Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Anyeke, he is one of the most experienced pilots in the force with over 4,300 flying hours. His most recent role was shaping the next generation of officers as Deputy Commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Emmanuel Udandeye, retains his position. The nation now looks to this new team to bring their vast operational experience to bear on Nigeria's complex security challenges. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has reaffirmed its commitment to sustaining operational readiness in tackling the nation's evolving security challenges. The Army says realistic and continuous training of its officers and soldiers remains crucial to enhancing effectiveness on the field. This message came from the immediate past Chief of Army Staff and current Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, during the 2025 Nigerian Army Interformation cross-country competition held at the Army Headquarters Garrison in Abuja. More than 280 soldiers drawn from various Army formations across the country participated in the 10-kilometer race. The annual event is designed to test the physical fitness, discipline, and combat readiness of troops as participants navigate challenging terrains that include hills, rough paths, and valleys.
A test of physical ability. It is a strategic investment in the health, the moral, and operational readiness of our personnel. The ability to move and navigate across rugged and unconventional terrain with all platoon equipment is a key component of modern military operations. Events like this reinforces our collective resolve to maintain peak performance in all spheres of our duty, particularly as we continue to face evolving security challenges in the defense of our dear country.
At the end of the competition, the winning formation will be determined based on established criteria including completion time, team, coordination, and adherence to equipment and kits requirements, among other standards. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed Nigerians delisting from the Financial Action Task Force Great List. The FATF announced the delisting at its plenary in Paris, France. The FATF is the world's foremost standard-setting body for combating money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing. The announcement formally removed Nigeria from the list of jurisdictions under increased monitoring, commonly referred to as the Grey List. President Tinubu described the development as a major milestone in Nigeria's journey towards economic reform, institutional integrity, and global credibility. This decision follows Nigeria's successful and timely completion of its FATF action plan, marking over 2 years of sustained effort, reform, and interagency coordination aimed at strengthening the country's anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism framework. At the core of Nigeria's development agenda, however, lies one question: how much food can the nation truly produce? The National Bureau of Statistics is on a mission to find out through the National Agricultural Sample Survey, a large-scale data collection exercise across all 36 states and the FCT. Musa Abubakar reports from one of the farms in Kokona local government of Nasarawa, where this vital exercise is taking roots.
Before the cities wake, the farms are already alive. Here in the quiet rhythm of the countryside, Nigeria's story begins. But today, something different is happening on these fields. The farmers are not just harvesting crops, they are harvesting data. This is one of thousands of visits taking place across Nigeria. It's part of the National Agricultural Sample Survey, or NAS, led by the National Bureau of Statistics.
Experience on this, the household, some households are so difficult to interview, but now we account like two people now.
The aim, to listen to farmers, measure their fields, record their yields, and turn their everyday realities into information that shapes policy.
Challenges that we are facing in the field, especially the farmland from the household is a little bit far from the household, but so far so good. The survey is okay. Yeah.
Each entry made on the field, each bag weighed, each herd counted, will travel hundreds of miles to the National Bureau of Statistics headquarters in Abuja. There, teams of analysts will transform the field reports into insights that can guide national policies, attract investments, and enhance food security. Agriculture contributes more than 20% to Nigeria's GDP, But behind the number lies the sweat of millions whose stories often go untold. Now, through data, their voices are being counted and their challenges made visible. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
The National Committee on Food and Nutrition has held its quarterly meeting in Abuja to review the progress and activities of relevant stakeholders in the implementation of nutrition-related programs across the country. Dennis Temple reports that the committee, inaugurated by the Federal Ministry of Budget, Economics and National Planning, emphasized the need for stronger coordination and data-driven decision-making to improve nutrition outcomes nationwide.
Ensured that we constituted a technical working group.
It was yet another meeting, a convergence of key voices driving nation's vision for better nutrition and food security. The third quarterly meeting of the National Council on Food and Nutrition, stakeholders from across sectors gathered in this hall with a shared purpose to take stock of progress, share insights, and strengthen collaboration in tackling the nation's nutrition challenges.
We have constituted a technical working group, which is now a subcommittee of the National Committee on Food and Nutrition to be able to deal with issues of nutrition data across the relevant MDAs and even the states.
One of the major highlights of the meeting was Nigeria's bold projection to establish a National Nutrition Data Alliance by 2028, a move experts believe will strengthen data system nationwide and ensure that every nutrition intervention is well targeted, measurable and impactful.
One thing about getting the best out of nutrition is the knowledge that you have about maybe kind of food that's available to you at any particular time or in your region. It can give best and we can get the best output and the benefit of that.
From our findings using the performance management system, we've been able to see increased coordination, increased accountability, even increased funding.
Representatives drawn from ministries and MDGs, as well as civil society organizations, were in attendance in Abuja. Dennis Temple, NTA News.
This is the News Desk 3 on NTA News 24. There will be more reports after the break.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Arisco tomato paste and products.
100% natural tomato. Namunde. Better food na correct.
Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Arisco tomato paste, the taste of Nigeria.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African Road.
Welcome back. A call to action has caught our headlines due to high lead level that unknowingly poses health risks. Lead poisoning is common in Nigeria while people are not conscious of it. Here is an excerpt earlier on news with Dr. Chimere May Ohajinwa, an environmental toxicologist and public health expert.
Celebrating International Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. So we are raising the awareness because it's important. Lead is a natural chemical metal that occurs in the natural environment in earth crust. But most of the time, the one that causes problem is as a result of human activities, right? So you go for mining, and then where they are mining gold, then you can find lead. And it's important to mention that lead always don't occur alone. You also see other toxic chemicals like arsenic and cadmium in the environment. So now when lead is you are exposed to lead, and then it bioaccumulates in your body, builds up in your body, it can now start causing problem, now becomes lead poisoning. And so for you to now be exposed to lead, and to the extent that it's not causing that problem, most of the time you get it through what you eat, or through inhalation, breathing, or through your skin, if it's in your skin, and your body absorbs it. So it's more common, it causes more problem in children compared to adults. And then you see in children absorbs 4 to 5 times more than adults' body would absorb. So that's why we need to raise awareness about lead. And you ask, does it cause problem? Of course it does. There's a lot of issues, learning disabilities, constant headache, developmental problems, and it becomes worse when a pregnant woman is eating it, right? It's being exposed. It now affects the pregnant woman, affects the baby that is yet to be unborn. So when you're having that baby is already coming out with so many other diseases that you didn't plan for. That is why it's important that this week they were raising their awareness on lead poisoning prevention. But also there is a cultural practice that is we so appreciate, take this lead and don't even know. It's nzu, what we call edible clay, nzu. I'm not sure of other tribes what they call it, but it's whitish in color, and then you eat it, and it's very nice. You enjoy it. It's addictive actually. That is why you see people that are addicted to nzu, they keep eating it. It's an edible clay. Everybody knows it's clay. But the truth is that lead, that edible clay, nzu, contains lead. And it might also contain other toxic chemicals like arsenic and cadmium that can cause diseases like brain damage, developmental problem, lower IQ in children, even fertility, anemia, even for the pregnant woman. So you see the problems are things that you don't even think about. So most of the time it will present like normal disease. You're constantly feeling sick, you're having headache, you're having this. It's until you go to hospital and able to maybe start testing your blood. So that's why we got to you get to know that this thing that I'm thinking is malaria is not malaria. These are the other issues that are coming up. So that's why it's important that we raise this awareness for people to know, especially for those cultural practices that we have taken to be harmless, but it's affecting us.
And what is government doing to ensure that?
Okay, like I said, there's already a plan. Government already launched in September. Government already launched an interagency team. So no, it's no longer like only Ministry of Health that is doing it. Now Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment is part of it. NAFDAC, solid minerals, the mining minerals, SON is there. So how do we manage it? Because why we are saying this is because like that's what I'm talking about. If you go to the market to buy Inzu, nobody is packaging it in any way. It's just open. So you're not just exposed to the metals, you're also exposed to maybe bacteria that can cause problem in your tummy, and you don't even know that's what is happening. It can also cause anemia, constipation, and you might not be able to relate it to that because you don't know how long it has been in that shop. You don't know how many reptiles and how many bacteria have settled in it. Nobody buys Inzu and goes to wash it before eating it. So there's a lot government is doing in raising awareness and also setting up this strategy to see how we can eliminate lead poisoning in Nigeria. That's what I know government is doing currently, which just happened last month. And so we are raising this awareness and saying there is lead poisoning that we need to take care of.
A division is emerging in the northern caucus of the People's Democratic Party over the endorsement of former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs Kabiru Tanimu Turaki, SAN, for the position of national chairman as consensus candidate by some party leaders from the region. The governor of Zamfara State, who serves as chairman of the accreditation and also special duties subcommittees of the PDP Elective National Convention, says the grievance will be amicably resolved. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Some PDP leaders from the north recently endorsed the former minister Kabiru Turaki as the national chairman of the party ahead of the Ibadan convention. In a twist, other leaders from the northwest zone have rejected the endorsement, saying they were not consulted. Prominent among those opposing the adoption is the National Organizing Secretary, Umar Bature. While inaugurating the accreditation as well as special duties subcommittees, Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State is hopeful of a hitch-free convention. On the northern leader's adoption of Kabiru Turaki as their choice of chairmanship candidate, Governor Lawal believes politics is about interest.
I don't think that should be something we should be concerned about, because in politics, it's about give and take. No matter who is selected, there will always be agitation from the other members. So it's normal as usual. It is something that is internal, and we're working on making sure everybody is on board.
The medical subcommittee of the PDP Elective National Convention is also inaugurated. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And to Kogi State now, the Independent Electoral Commission, COSIEC, has announced the timetable for the conduct of the 2026 local government elections. This unveils the commencement of the electoral process across the 21 local government areas of the state. Halima Babali reports that the chairman, Kogi State Independent Electoral Commission, announced the timetable at a press briefing in Lokoja. The report.
The Kogi State Independent Electoral Commission chairman discloses that the chairmanship and councillorship elections will be held on Saturday, October 17, 2026, with political activities commencing from Friday, 24th October 2025. Political parties are required to conduct their primaries and resolve all dispute between November 10th, 2025 and 12th December 2025. Political parties are to collect nomination forms from December 15th to December 19th, 2025, while submission of list of candidates will be on 5th to 9th January 2026.
Then Wednesday, 20th May 2026, commencement of campaigns by political parties in public. This is the time that is due for campaigns. Every other time, it is prohibited for open campaigns. A remark on the commencement of political parties said, not earlier than 150 days before the election, campaigns will commence, according to Section 94, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022.
He added that screening and publication of particulars of candidates will hold from 16th January to 21st January, with 22nd January to 30th January slated for withdrawal of candidates by political parties, while publication of final list of nominated candidates will be on the 6th of February 2026.
On the Thursday, 15th day of October 2026, that will mark the end of political campaigns. All political parties, please take note that campaigns end 24 hours before election, according to Section 94, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022.
The chairman reiterates that all political party aspirants and stakeholders are to adhere strictly to the electoral timetable and guidelines to ensure a seamless and peaceful process.
With growing concerns across Nigeria as the Nigeria Meteorological Agency NIMET issues fresh warnings on imminent floods in several parts of the country, Mina Daniels fills us in with latest news on what is being done by affected states to mitigate the impacts.
Seasonal rainfall prediction shows above normal rainfall in parts of the north central and south-south regions, raising red flags for urban and riverine flooding. This is what Nigeria's Hydrological Services Agency has to say.
Nigeria, because of the geographical position of Nigeria, it's prone, and every Nigerian should know this, because we have two transboundary rivers in Nigeria, River Niger and River Benue. So, right, River Niger now, coming from about 13 countries from Futajalon Island in Guinea, and come and empty in Nigeria, because Nigeria is the last bus stop.
To reduce the risks, several states are ramping up efforts. In Anambra, the government has begun clearing blocked drainages and relocating residents in low-lying areas. In Lagos, emergency agencies are on high alert.
In Lekki now, we are embarking on aggressive removal, which we have started from last week. So almost all our channels along Lekki are presently undergoing maintenance, as well as the swales that we have along the express.
This flooding mostly is flooding, they are caused by human negative behavior. You can see somebody just erecting buildings on the drainage system. You see how people are putting sand in drainages. Now we have to be desilting drainages, we have to be constructing drainages. If you go within the metropolis, you will see drainages are being constructed everywhere. So these are the efforts we have put in place.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is coordinating with state governments and international partners to pre-position relief materials and enhance early warning systems. So, I spoke with Mr. Kamal Kisher of the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction Office in Geneva, Switzerland.
I think this issue of increasing risk of losses from flood is not unique to Nigeria. It's happening across the world, in developing countries and developed countries. We should not build valuable assets, human settlements in floodplains. That we have a good economic case for investing in resilience.
So as climate patterns becomes increasingly unpredictable, proactive flood mitigation is no longer optional, but essential. In Abuja, Mina Daniel, NTA News.
And that report brings us to the end of the News Desk 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I'm Vivian Izadi.
Defend it well enough with bodies in there, but this little step across here, really clever, knows exactly what he's doing there, Traore, to win the foul and just take the pressure off his team.
See from that first replay, couldn't we, in the angle that it provided as well, how Chelsea love to flood forward in a 5, sometimes a 6.
It just leaves them susceptible. If Traore wins that ball and gets a bit of momentum running, all of a sudden the game's very open. You do get quite an open game here at Stamford Bridge. It's exciting for the neutral.
It's been a great watch so far, no doubt about that, as Guinea does well to just back in, but possession turned over. Hertruda steps past Pedro Neto now. Ronaldo, Lafay. Siddiqui. Encouraged to shoot by the Sunderland supporters. Xhaka pops a great ball through to Isidore, who slams it towards goal. Into the side netting. Sunderland feel it should be a corner. You feel it took a nick on its way.
This is top pass. Knows exactly where it's going. Seconds before that comes to him, he can see Isidore in that little space, but it's got to be one touch and it's got to be quick. And fires it into him, Xhaka. Isidore couldn't quite find the finish, but brilliant spot from the midfield player.
Certainly has an eye for it, Granit Xhaka. 3 assists already for him this season, and he's pretty high up the list when it comes to progressive passes in the Premier League this season. He's not just a deep-lying ball player, is he?
Definitely not. He's been very attacking in terms of releasing players as well into good areas. So much to his game.
Very described as a natural leader.
by his head coach and someone who will go on to be a manager for sure. Neat turn by Siddiqui, which brings the free kick. Could spell this for Sunderland.
Well, they've been excellent since scoring, really have. Got the best of the game